Everybody, it's Lauren Kling. Hi, everybody. Now that we're officially live, I'm Lauren Kling, and welcome to another Film Thread Watch Party. Watch Party. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us live on a Friday evening. I am excited today because we are going to have a watch party for the indie comedy Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers. It's what you might call an 80s inspired horror comedy about kicking vampire ass and taking vampire names. And believe me, there's a lot of nods to 80s comedy. If you haven't seen this film, we want you to rush out to your local streaming service. You can get it on iTunes. I rented it on Amazon Prime and have it ready to go. Put it on pause because at about 5:15 our time, or in about 15 minutes from now, we're going to ask you to play the movie on your television, or if you don't have a TV, on a second screen, so you can join us. You can ask questions of the cast and crew and the filmmakers while we're watching it on our second screens. They'll share stories, insight. We'll find out all about the world of Hawk and Rev. We'll find out all kinds of questions. You ask those, and we'll be doing that at about 5:15. Film Thread did a review on this, and we would say it's equal parts insanity and an homage to horror and cult classics alike, according to Josiah Teal. It takes audiences on a fast-paced, Edgar Wright-influenced adventure. And I got to say, Josiah, you had me at Edgar Wright. Probably my favorite director of all time, his Cornetto trilogy. I could go on about those movies forever, and I hope we do. So I hope the filmmakers and the cast can throw out 80s references. I hope we can talk about what life was like in the 80s, since many of us were there. And for those of you who are 90s kids or 00 kids, we want to know, what were your movies that you were watching in junior high and high school, the ones your parents weren't letting you watch? For me, Evil Dead was like a junior high series, and RBG's in the green room going, yes! So, you know what? Speaking of RBG, let's bring on the writer, director, producer, editor, craft services, cleanup person. I don't know what else he does. Accountant, probably. He did basically everything. Let's bring on our very own RBG. How are you?
I'm great, Lauren. Thanks so much for having me. What's up? Hey, people. Hello.
You're welcome. Hello. Kyle is on board. He says, woohoo.
Yes, Kyle. What's up, man?
Christopher Page says,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alejandro.
All the way from Argentina. Alejandro, what's up, buddy? Cousin. That's
nice.
Awesome. Yes, and Jimmy and Barbara, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers. I don't know, just this crazy thing. I did more things, Lauren. I did. I cleaned up blood in the middle of the night. I paid people off. I did not get arrested.
Oh,
I almost did. There's a story in the middle of the night. We'd been shooting all night, shooting gore. And I was still covered in blood. And I just said, I'm going to go home and take a shower at home. And we were shooting out in Malibu at the state park. And I ran out of gas, or was about to. So I pulled over and got gas covered in blood. And this woman in a Lexus in Calabasas, she's in a nice white Lexus. I'm in the old SUV Ford that's in the movie that the band and the vampires drive. And I'm totally covered in blood, just completely. And I just kind of pumping gas in the middle of the night. And this woman drives in. She looked pretty drunk. She's probably trying to get cigarettes or something. And she just kind of looked at me like, whoa. And like, right out of there. So,
but you know what? We're in LA, so it's normal. And what I love about modern technology and the camera gear, and I can't wait to talk to your DP, Shawn, about this, is how anybody can make a movie wherever you are, versus back in the 80s, we were lucky if our parents had like a big shoulder mounted
VHS.
Yeah,
totally.
So,
yeah, my neighbor had one of those, and I was like, this guy, all he does is film his bowling league. This is ridiculous.
Right. So hello, Argentina. Buenos tardes, right? I think, or buenos noches. I think it's
they're 5 or 6 hours ahead of us. Buenas
5 or
noches.
So welcome. And then Timothy's like Evil Dead for me too. So
Hell yeah.
So just as a reminder, in about 10 minutes, we'll invite all you guys to start the movie. I'll give a countdown. I'll do a special 3D effect where I pointed the camera, and then we'll hit play on the movie. Just a reminder for everybody who's coming on as guests, turn your audio down because we don't have permission from the filmmaker to hear the audio, and we don't want RBG suing any of y'all.
Oh, that's not going to happen. But the more people that love this film, the better in my mind.
I love how this is turning more into like a family gathering of friends and family.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, what's up? Annalisa, Mike, Stella from New York. That's awesome. Oh, so half of Ari's family and Simone's family, who you met earlier, who maybe will make a cameo, they're from Argentina. So,
oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. Now, have they all seen the movie?
I don't know. I think so. I hope so. Otherwise, they're in for a treat.
would any of them maybe be like Casey's? Oh no, not Casey. I'm trying to think of who played the kind of the polyamorously married security guard.
Oh, so a little known fact, and I don't want to give anything away here, but Jana Savage, who plays Theo, the kick-ass female lead, is actually in real life married to Casey Graff, who plays Arnold, who is Mormon and has potentially multiple wives. So yes, they are. This is a family affair, man. This movie was made with all of the people. I don't think there's anybody that worked on this movie that we didn't all personally know already. So that goes from actors through the whole thing. Yeah. It's not like we had some giant crew, but this is all a group of people that have all worked with each other before and performed with each other on stage or Groundlings or UCB or Second City, or, this is kind of, this was our giant art project for a couple of years,
Right. We have Lady Trotsky from Brazil.
Awesome. And Hawk and Rev was very lucky to play Fantaspoa in Brazil. Jao, the programmer of Fantaspoa, has been like on board with this movie for years. Literally, it was a bad, uncolor corrected, unscored cut, and he saw that as an early programmer. And I mean, this is a massive horror film festival in the world, and he was like, I like this one. This one is the one, So I don't know. That was the first pedigree we ever got, was from Brazil, which is awesome.
That's awesome. And then as because we all have friends who have made films, and it's amazing the random countries that you sell your films in or that pick them up.
Oh yeah. Well, so horror comedy is really big in Latin America and Europe and Canada. In the US, it's spotty now, I think. I think weirdly the southern states love it. Like they just love it, man. But it's very spotty. We got a little highbrow in the US with this elevated horror for the last few years. So we're an antidote to that. Well,
awesome. So we're going to start in about 11 minutes. Why don't we bring on some of these others?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Why don't we bring on your cinematographer? Let's say hello to Shawn. How you doing?
Hey, Shawn. So this is Shawn Ayers, cinematographer, DP, one-man army on camera, and tech mogul. Say what's up, man. Oh, technical difficulty.
Somebody want to do his vote? Oh, and he's gone.
Hi, Shawn.
So since this has happened multiple times, I think our game is every time Shawn knocks himself out, we have to take a drink.
Cheers.
So as we bring Shawn back on.
I am so sorry. The menu. I had my mic muted because I didn't want to be just blabbering, to my dog live. So I had it muted. I couldn't pull up the settings there. So sorry about that.
Well,
anyway, I am Shawn. I am the cinematographer for Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers, and I'm here to answer some questions that you might have.
Awesome. And so I encourage everyone to ask. Of course, the question will be, what did you shoot on? What kind of lenses? All of those kind of technical things that people ask. That sometimes you can just use your camera and.
It's a very good, yeah. It's a very good point. I mean, I think the last time me and Ryan had a little interview about the film, I mentioned, you have a brilliant camera in your pocket right now in terms of the quality. I mean, the iPhone has a brilliant camera. You could spend all day and night for weeks going over lens specs, camera specs, yada yada. But if you have a great story, you can literally shoot it with an iPhone and it'll look great. Yeah. So I guess the answer to the question, we shot it on an A7S, the first Mark 1, the Mark 1. I forget the specific lens we used. It was a zoom lens. I want to say a Sigma. Ryan?
I love the zooms. Scorsese uses zooms.
They're
zooms.
Great. They're
All
great.
right.
They're so convenient. I think it was a Sigma zoom lens, like 24-70. I want to say.
All right.
And so we used the A7S with the Shogun attachment, so we could record in high quality and have the monitor. And then we used the Ronin, the first version, which was very heavy.
It's this big.
yeah. It was. Oh goodness, yeah. That's how I feel every time I think of that stupid rig. Just shaking, arms shaking.
Yeah.
Please hurry, everybody. Are we still doing this take? Because I'm going to drop this.
All right. Well, let's bring on some of our other guests tonight, and we'll come back. We'll have
absolutely.
Time. So let's bring on, and if you'll introduce these fine folks right here.
Hey, this is Audrey Haworth and David Rickabaugh, production designer and art director, and Zagan. And we've got an Ari Schneider who played Rev that just walked in.
I was just in the neighborhood. I figured I would stop by and say hi.
Nice. Welcome.
Hi, Ari.
Hey, guys.
Let's bring on Casey.
Hey.
Wow, look at this.
We're all here.
Casey Graff.
Hey, Casey.
Played Arnold.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How's it going?
And then
time we've been in the
This
same
feels
room.
this feels like a normal Friday night Shabbat, anyways, at Ryan and Ari's house.
And
I'm Jewish. by the
we've
way.
got Kevin Ocampo who played Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Possibly, I don't want to say, maybe steals the movie.
I would say Terry steals the movie. FYI,
Right.
Terry steals the movie.
and then we got to bring on one more. Explain this, Ari.
What's up?
Oh,
no! What happened to
oh, that's great. Ari Schneider is a ghost now.
me? So,
a ghost
spoiler
now.
alert, I'm a ghost.
So
That's Hawk and Rev 3. We can't talk about
Revs do.
So with your permission, Ryan, I'd like to check back in with this Phantom Ari every so often to see
That's
what's going on.
perfect. That's perfect. Maybe one of my daughters will start playing piano in there, just random.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're just joining us, this is the Film Threat Watch Party. We're going to start the film, and it's Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers. We're going to start playing it back on our second screens in just a couple minutes. Why not? We can go a little bit after 5:15. So have the movie ready to go on your second screen or a TV if you still know what one of those are. Basically, what we're going to do is I'll do a countdown. We'll start the movie in the background. You'll have it on mute or low, and then we'll just get to play the movie on our second screen while we continue the chat right here. Lady Trotsky's already got ideas for her own projects, stories based on this movie.
We want to hear it.
She said, it gave me an idea for a new story in my literary universe, but it's more drawn to drama. I've always been interested in stories involving war veterans.
Well,
Funnily enough, I was in a movie before this called Repatriation, which is a drama about stolen valor. So it is a soldier who's a pretend soldier. But this was actually a much more serious screenplay to begin with that I gave up on, called Sleeper Cell, because it was dramatic and depressing. And so
Ryan came to me. He's like, I made a change. What do you think about vampires? And
Now,
the rest
I want to make sure that we can hear Ari as best as we can. Is it possible?
here we go.
Is it possible to pretend like you two love each other?
Yeah.
we can. Don't touch me. This is actually the first time we have watched it in the same room together because of COVID.
That's true.
So now that we're vaxxed, we feel comfortable being next to each other.
Got it. Now, if I had a whiteboard capabilities on StreamYard, I would be drawing lines from Ryan to Ari to Audrey and David, right? And then
Yeah.
different people that know each other and or are related to each other by marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna get crazy up in here.
All right, so we're gonna start the movie in a second, but I do want to check back in with the Phantom Ari Schneider.
That is fantastic, man. That is so funny.
Too bad we didn't
Might reappear in between scenes. We'll see.
I'd love to ask. I do want to get to Casey and ask him if he was playing the role of a Phantom Ari Schneider, what his motivation would be in this scene right here.
If I was playing a phantom role of Ari Schneider in that thing, okay, so that's first of all, what a weird question. Thank you.
Cut him off.
I'd probably have like black lipstick on, straighten my hair, and then wear one of those robes that he comes into he sneaks into the warehouse where Hawk and I work. So I feel like he'd be like in character the whole time.
Oh yeah.
He knows me too well. That's not fair.
You should have had like a dummy just sitting there, Ari. That would have been funny.
I didn't blow it up in time.
Perhaps
Audrey would have made it for you.
Perhaps before the movie's over, we can do that. We're going to start the movie in just a moment, but Gail wanted to say hello.
Gail, what's up?
Oh.
What's up, Gail?
And Gail wants to know if it's on DVD and or Blu-ray.
Not yet. COVID has just killed all physical production of any DVD. They're 6 weeks behind, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
This thing will have streamed on Tubi before the damn Blu-ray is available.
And torrent.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
The torrent will have given up by that time.
I don't think
my
it works
God.
like that.
That was Matt Latham, who was additional editing right
Yeah,
there.
Matt.
What's up, buddy?
We're just
What's up, Matt?
This is still in, right? This is like
Yeah, that's still in, man.
Yeah.
You're still in.
Nice. All right. Well, cool. So let's start the movie. So I've got my phone set up right here below my camera. So if you're streaming on a phone, make sure you unlock it, get it ready to play. And
I have my friend Kyle is stopping by and he had a quick question before we could maybe me and Ryan can answer it before we start the movie.
sure.
He asked how is blocking action sequences? And Ryan, I thought you might actually have some good insight on that because you were the director and also involved in the action itself. So I thought you might have a good answer for
Storyboard.
Why don't we make that our first question once we start the movie?
Oh yeah, no worries. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't mean
yeah.
to jump the gun. Sorry, I just have to
No worries.
check the chat.
Nobody really understands these little produced and film company little animations at the beginning of a movie. So perfect time to ask the question. So have your phone or TV ready to play. Mine keeps shutting off. All right, we're going to hit the play button in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And if for any reason somebody doesn't hit the play button correct or they feel like they're off, go ahead in the comments, say, hey, where are we? Right now, I'm just seeing a TV with the RBG film logo come up. So if you're somewhere around there, cool. All right. Back to the blocking action sequences question.
Well, storyboard is the number one answer on that, I would say. So because I was directing and also on camera playing the lead with this guy and trying to be there with the other actors, I just storyboarded the living daylights out of that. And then also got to work with Shawn, who is a DP who I sort of share a brain with in a weird way. So when it came down to action, it was just about really precise shots that we knew like we could just cut together. And I like pre-cut that together with the storyboard. So that's really what helped, man.
And then we just goofed off. We're like, is this in frame?
Yeah.
Is this in frame?
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And because like all that prep had happened, which is usually not a thing on indie movies, we could actually mess around and like, improvise lines and
Like, slap each other.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still smarting a little bit from some of these slaps this dude did. Oh,
now I have to ask a question. I am so excited that Kevin Ocampo is on. What were you drinking? How many of those cans did you go through? And what was your motivation for your character?
I'm pretty sure they were all or they were Pabst Blue Ribbons, right? They're tall boys.
Yeah,
and,
intervention actually.
Hell
we need
yeah.
to talk to Terry. We need to talk to Kevin.
Terry, in order to do more accounting, I'm just saying.
Yeah. In order to talk to my mother on the phone, I really needed to tie one on. So I'm pretty sure I had like a 6-pack of tall boys between every take. So.
Oh man.
But it was delicious. And it was all room temperature, which was brilliant.
But it was freezing. It was freezing. They must have been cold.
Yeah.
Talented improviser I know, by the way.
Wonderful. In our green room, and who's going to join us in a second is Richard. I'm going to bring him on in a second, but we have 2 questions, related questions. One from Kevin. Is there a link or something, a play button? And Jim says we're on YouTube and don't see the TV. So just to clarify, you need to physically stream the movie on your television while you're watching us here. Totally not confusing at all. But if you have a second computer or a tablet or another phone, or a kid who lives down the street who can help you set this up. Maybe if Ari wants to run and help Kevin out or Jim out.
I can do it if you want.
So you'll need to stream the movie on a second screen. If not, just sit back, have your favorite beverage, and we'll have Phantom Ari Schneider check in and give us an update of where we are in the film.
Sounds good to me.
Sure.
Let's bring on Richard Gaylor. How are you, Richard?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
Hey, Rich.
Hi, Richard.
This is Richard Gaylor, who plays Jasper.
Hey, Rich.
Woo!
Yeah. Oh,
Hi, Simone.
This is a random person who just entered.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, there you go. That's the most we've touched, like ever.
Nice to meet you.
And we're 6 years apart.
This is the most we've touched ever.
That's what happens in quarantine.
Indie filmmaking.
This is my brother. My brother.
This is my brother.
My husband.
Got it. All right.
They get just confused. Sorry.
Well,
all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, honey.
So we just saw a scene with RBG. You were in a cop outfit and you were in a home, and I loved your entrance into the kitchen and looking through all the shelves. Did you have inspiration from any 80s movies of your character?
Yes, all of them, but specifically Bruce Dern in The Burbs was a big inspiration, because he's all law and order all the time, but then he changes his mind about which side of the law he's on all the time. And
That's true. That's a good point.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll also like basically all the bully characters from every 80s movie. Hawk's like kind of a sadder version of them all. Yeah. He's Cobra Kai, but he would have been like the 5th guy down the wall because he couldn't actually fight.
He's the new Cobra Kai.
I'll go get the body bag. Okay, like. Yeah.
And what's really great, Ryan, is you're playing off Ari, who's such a different, like, calm, cool character who sometimes doesn't seem to really know what's going on, but yet he always works well in whatever's happening.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang, man.
That's pretty much me on set. I don't really know what's going on. Just give me some lines, direct me in the.
Got it. Again, I don't want to miss a word that Ari is saying.
Oh, sorry.
So it's all right.
I think I'm assuming that you asked who I channeled, even though you didn't ask that, but I'm going to ask.
Yes. We want to know who you channel.
A little bit of, who I realized Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
Came out.
What about Holden Hammersmith from Baby Geniuses?
Oh, is that the role that Casey Graff played? Baby Geniuses. Wait,
this
3
is,
and 4.
This is Casey Graff of Geniuses.
I am helping Casey move at 10 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
FYI. That's how incestuous this is.
Incestuous. Bold words.
So let's talk about Casey for a second, since
you might as well.
So when you do a project like Baby Geniuses 3 and 4, how do you step down into a role in a project like this?
Well, I'm glad you asked that.
How did you prepare yourself for the role of the baby?
My career as an actor, for whatever reason, I always get like authority figures. So like in this, I play the security guard, but I'm the boss. And in Baby Geniuses 3, 4, and 5, I play a CIA agent. So maybe I just have, that kind of look, that cop look. So I don't really have to do much. So when I channel characters, let's see, I kind of like Tom Cruise probably from Mission Impossible. I feel like he would go by the book. And
wasn't that the guy from Top Gun?
Top Gun,
right?
Yeah.
Top Gun. Yeah. There we go.
Jim, congratulations, got it on screen too.
Hey.
So, Ryan, so you can help Jim figure out how to scrabble through what scene are we at now, and I think I'm seeing about 8 minutes and 45 seconds in. So describe what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, so we're watching Hawk basically in fast motion do a night on the job. So he's drinking coffee, trying to guard things, and he's just doing way too many push-ups and karate kicks and stuff because it's boring. It's an empty warehouse that this guy guards, and now his flashlight's not totally working. And he sees something down the alley. What could it be? I don't know. What could it be? What could it be?
Got it. Audrey and David, since you production designer, art director, where was this shot? How much work did you have to put into these locations?
Oh man, these locations were actually pretty awesome already. Certainly the exterior, the interior was wow. I can't even imagine how much gook we cleaned out of our
It was foul.
In there.
It was foul.
But yeah, I mean,
The dirt. Yeah.
mostly setting up the band's like sort of location, like where they've sort of set up camp inside the warehouse. A bunch of work went into that. But really, I mean, the graffiti was gorgeous. The lighting, for the most part, was really awesome too. So it was not a ton of work, certainly for the exterior, yeah, and even the interior. But really, yeah, just mostly the band's location and all their accoutrement and crazy gear and fake coffins and bats and all the stuff that they would drag around with themselves, on location and stuff. was the main thing that we did. And then this actually doubled as like, I think the grocery store at one point, and that which maybe didn't end up as the grocery store in the film in the cut. And then did it? Yeah, that's right. And then also the Home Depot. This played a few different.
It's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, this whole movie, guys.
I'll never forget. I took a great photo of the crew all wearing masks because of the dust in that place.
Yeah.
And we're not wearing masks, obviously, in this scene. But like, I just remember, like, oh, that's a nice.
Oh, that picture. Yes, I remember that picture.
They're all wearing these heavy duty masks.
They're like,
there was a lot of dust.
Hey guys, why are you wearing those masks? Oh, asbestos? Great.
And I do want to confirm, David, that you've had some of your highlight credits include background on Sharknado and / dead guy on CSI Miami.
Yes, I will confirm that.
So what was it like to have some lines, goth-based lines in this movie?
Oh, it was awesome. No, it really was. This was a lot of fun. I mean, this was a very strange role to play with all of the makeup on and everything, but I actually had a lot of fun with it, especially when I had the sclera contacts in.
Yeah.
You've been dubbed the prettiest vampire.
I got to scare Ryan at one point before he had actually seen me with them. We were at his house doing some test stuff, and I had put them in without letting him know. And he came up over me, and I looked up at him, and I was like, "What did you say?" And he literally jumped back like, I was like, "Oh my god!"
David is the prettiest of all the vampires. You look like you woke up just looking that way,
and definitely the creepiest with the black eyes, dude. That was insane.
Yeah.
I had fun. Like we'd finish, shooting a scene, and then I'd still have to go do like art director work. So I just like throw on my tool belt and still have the full, the full outfit.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You're kind of wearing like a male lingerie shirt for quite a bit of it, and that was a hilarious sight. I wish we had gotten some behind the scenes photos of David with his tool belt on and the lingerie shirt.
Yeah. It became a whole new kink.
I mean,
that we can save it for the next one.
Yeah,
for the next one.
I mean, those are the kind of photos we could probably should have used to sell the movie.
Right.
Talk about tool time, am I right?
Oh my God.
Now we haven't gotten to our villain Jasper yet, but Ryan, I'd love for you to talk about how you found Richard, what you told him, if anything, about his character, or just kind of let him loose on this role.
I found Richard in my very first acting class as a baby actor in LA. Years and years ago, and he was the best actor in the class, and was always the best actor in the class, and we became friends, and we were friends for a really long time, and then he was actually in Elijah's Ashes, the movie Ari and I did before this, in a smaller role, and then when it came time to cast somebody who didn't need to push too hard to be villainous, I was like, Richard is perfect, because in real life he's the most friendly, loving, cuddly dude.
Yeah.
But if you don't know him and he said something very direct to you,
terrifying,
you might think he was terrifying. and it's just because he's completely confident in his own skin, which most people are not. And that is always terrifying on film. And I knew Ari and I would be hamming it up like no tomorrow. And that in order to balance that out, we needed somebody who would really be kind of scary. And what I said to Richard was, we're going to be playing it like a comedy, and you feel free to play it like a drama. And that's kind of where we met.
Did a really good job, by the way.
Yeah.
He saw us through and through. And when I mean through and through, I mean he saw through us. Like we got naked in front of him. I'm not our butt cheeks. Sometimes when the shot would
Spoilers, Ari. Spoilers. We haven't gotten there yet.
No, so no Merkins then from
No Merkins.
he can answer that question.
There's a real reaction shot in the movie where you see me and Ari in the foreground of on each side of the frame, and Richard going. That's real, man. I don't know. That's real. I gotta let Richard talk.
Yeah, we should let him talk.
Sorry.
What was the idea with Kevin's role? I'm curious. Well, because there are a lot of movies, especially from the 80s, that had like that random person, but always had a reason for being there.
I mean, look, there's that old corny saying, there's no small actor or no small roles, just small actors. And so the thing that multiple writers and journalists have said about this movie is that every character is way different and played by an amazingly talented person. Like this, there's never, and that's always the death nail of indie movies. You'll have like a couple great characters and great performances, and then there'll be like a couple real turkeys, and it just pulls the whole veneer off the movie. But I mean, every character in here is great. And Terry, the idea was to just have somebody who could be like kind of a moral compass in this very bizarre way, because Rev is already that, but to just kind of have this person who just keeps coming back and is like, whoa, man, I don't know. And I think it's a mix of probably 7 or 8 80s movies that did that, but I also wanted it to kind of mix with the whole Black Knight scene from Monty Python, which is kind of a plot spoiler at this point. But I wanted that all to be one role that you started to really love, and then it all goes awry.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Kevin, how's the reaction been to your role? Did you expect these kind of accolades?
No, I didn't. It was just so fun to play that that I feel like just being able to play Terry was a reward in itself, and for people to really take a liking to him is really surprising, and it's not what I expected. I have to say that the scene later on that Ryan alludes to, my mother did not like. She did not enjoy it at all. But,
that does not. Yeah. Well, can't win them all.
And again, that's Kevin, doing his comedic genius, but then there's also Richard anchoring that in this very real and scary way. And the juxtaposition of those two things where people are just on two totally different wavelengths is so funny. Yeah. It's so funny. So funny to me.
Is Douglas another friend, a family or friend somewhere around the world?
That is Douglas Mueller, who was a gaffer on the first shoot.
Hey, Doug.
Fellow director. Yeah. What's up, Doug? What's up, buddy? That is awesome.
We're good to see you too.
We're good to see you, Doug.
We can't see you technically, but we are imagining you in our heads.
Well,
that's all we can do.
We love the comments and questions, so keep those going. I want to make sure that hopefully Jim is watching along, and then who is the other one? I'm hoping Kevin is still around. I hope he didn't give up. Check in with us, Kevin. We want to know. Let's check in. Should we check in with Phantom Ari?
Yeah. Yes, that'd be awesome.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Do it.
So checking in with not Richard. We want to check in with Phantom Ari.
Oh,
that
man.
wasn't planned, but I think we're going to now go to Richard for the no. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
And so now Douglas is trying to bogart the chat by doing a zip zap zop game.
Oh, nice.
On chat.
Zap.
There's Kevin.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be the weird one with the U. Zup.
Yeah. Zup. Oh,
Wonderful.
man.
So who remind me again? Who's done improv and/or sketch together?
Well, I met Kevin in my first Groundlings 101 class, I believe. Yeah.
And Ari and I actually did a show together at Second City.
Yeah.
The really awesome improv show. And
yeah,
and I think his cohort was just ahead of mine in terms of like timelines at Second City. So yeah, it was weird. I had no idea that Ryan even knew Ari until I saw them both together on this project.
Really? Oh my god, that's funny.
And then I was like, "Oh, you guys are like family." That's how did I not? I
didn't say that. That's creeping me out.
Oh,
in-laws. Whoa.
In-laws related by marriage.
That's not
I said like family. It's like a group of people at the Olive Garden. Like family.
And I've been friends with Audrey since we were like 19?
Yeah, 18, 19. In acting class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bunch of dorks.
I have a question though, because I've been getting texts from a lot of awesome people, friends and family that are watching this now. Thank you very much. If people have started the movie later,
yes,
than where we are in it now, and they want to watch this amazing live thing, but not live,
it'll be available on YouTube.
But can they pause it now and like catch up and then? I mean, I don't know. What do you do if you come late to the party and watching the movie?
Well, you can't pause this live when we're live, but you can pause it when we're not live. The movie you can pause because it's not live, but it's live streaming, so you can't pause the live film stream. But you can pause this live watch party later when it's not live. Crystal.
If anyone wants to do a sync check, I am at 2243.
I think that the only way for a lot of these people is if we paused and they caught up, but that's not happening.
So wait, are we all just gonna pause the movie and wait for these other people's movies to catch up?
No, I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out what to do here.
The best thing to do is to watch this live chat, and when you hit
Not
start
live.
on the live chat, press play on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
That is right.
And everything lines up. And we haven't even finished this chat.
Now,
Right. Can I like a rewind button?
oh, Phantom Ari, maybe you may want to check on Phantom Ari.
Oh, all right. Let's check in with Phantom Ari.
Oh,
What?
I'd like to get our kids.
He's there
Phantom Ari is muted.
this summer.
He's muted, but that's okay. I think.
You guys were talking about it.
This summer, Ari Schreiner stars in Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayers.
You know what I don't like? I don't like Ari there, so we're gonna take him away again. So if he wants to come back,
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of him. Yep.
Oh my god,
I
that's
can't do
hilarious.
Hey guys, I've
Next.
been here the whole time.
No.
What's up?
Hey,
Ari, does Ari know where we are? Do we need to pause and wait for him to catch up on?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
I'm good.
I have one question. What have you done with Casey and where's he gone? Where's the body, Ari?
Oh man,
I'm gonna.
They're about to be
remove
taken.
him. When he comes back, he's probably getting another drink. Lady Trotsky asks an interesting question. Who, for God's sake, baptizes a city with the name of Santa Muerte?
Saint Death, man. Come on, this guy right here. I spent a few too many times south of the border in Baja surfing in the 90s with my high school friends. And I don't know, there's a lot of occult stuff. It's awesome. And I just felt like you know, I wanted a corny Wild Wild West town, but I wanted it to have this kind of, you know, Southern California, close to the border vibe. You know,
I believe there's a chance I actually may have thrown that name out there.
Yes. And there are 7 or 8 real towns called Santa Muerte.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch and I'll ask a question.
Okay.
If Casey shows up over at Ari's, I'm gonna freak out.
Okay. Yeah.
Casey.
Yeah, maybe
That would be funny.
So I had to mention, and I talked to Ryan about this beforehand, but maybe Ari, it's your look in this with the beard, but you look like my wife and I both said you look so much like TJ Miller Light. And then we laughed at the idea of inventing TJ Miller Light, like the beer.
You're way ahead of me.
So I'm going to bring my wife in so she can revel. No.
Yeah, I've gotten that a bit. Quite. In fact, I've gotten skinny TJ Miller, wimpy TJ Miller, TJ Miller's younger brother. Yeah, all the above.
I've personally responded to about 50 comments on social media about how he looks like TJ Miller in the poster. And I mean, I've heard dime store TJ Miller, like dead TJ Miller, younger TJ Miller, less balmy TJ Miller, less crazy TJ Miller.
The weird thing is he and I are acquaintances, and in person, we don't look anything alike. It's just like, he's like very different than I am. But so, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Have you ever been referred to TJ Hooker, the TV show with William Shatner?
All the time. All the time. There was one review was really funny. That thank God this wasn't TJ Miller. That's what it said in the review.
Hey,
no digs at TJ, but
that's Janice Savage. Who played
speaking of TJ Miller,
appearance.
I also look like TJ Miller. I'm a little rough right now, but I just wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
The beautiful Janice Savage. Mwah.
Theo's having a baby, hopefully.
Way to make it awkward, Casey.
Yeah.
Wait, put it out there. Positive energy.
Is this an exclusive?
They
This could
just
be an
had sex
exclusive.
right now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wow.
Check back or don't check back. We'll see. I'm gonna go back to bed. I'm still
Okay.
I'm still pretty high on the Valium.
You look great, beautiful.
Thanks. I'm just gonna go downstairs.
We've all said if we ever stop being friends with Casey, we won't stop being friends with Jana. Because
Jana, you know we're live.
Yeah,
but
you know.
But we won't be at some point. So for those of you who wanted us to pause, there'll be a moment where we aren't live and you can pause us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you see the awesome sense of humor right there in just
why did you decide to show your butt on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question.
Because I told him to do it.
Goodbye.
Because his DP told him to show his butt.
So yeah, so there was some butt showing on, and it's kind of a decision you have to make at the moment, right?
Yeah, I mean,
there was no hesitation.
We were just going to be in our undies. We were going to be in our undies, but Shawn just said, "Come on, man! You're going to stand out here in the cold in the middle of the night to just stand there in your underwear? Just go for it! Like, what are you afraid of?" And
I'm the one who's going to film your butt.
To be fair, it wasn't that cold, if you know what I mean.
You weren't in the pool, shall we say?
It's always cold. If you're ever naked on camera, it's always cold.
You weren't. You guys weren't in the pool. I'll give you guys that. You guys weren't in the pool. Seinfeld reference.
Can anybody talk about the score? There's a lot of great music and a different kinds of music in the movie.
So the original stuff, I collaborated with the extremely talented Robbie Elfman, not related to Danny Elfman, but same caliber of talent, who is not with us right now. He's still alive, but he's just not here.
Okay.
But he's amazingly
Wait,
talented.
Are you saying he might have died?
He's the Phantom of the Phantom Ari. He's another best buddy of mine, and all the kill, like some of the kill themes and the score at the end and the 80s, a lot of the 80s stuff, that's Robbie. We collaborated and did some singing for the Hawk and Rev theme song, and some of those Western things. But a lot of that stuff was also just awesome artists on Artlist that were just, lended their talent to this movie. And it was fun designing that. So I got to kind of piece that together and get Ryan's opinion on that. And it was a lot of fun. I think the music is just as much, it's like another character in the story. Basically.
It is another character for sure. I think it's like 10 characters. Mm-hmm. There's like a John Carpenter character. There's like a Western Showdown character. And then, I mean, even sort of a ripoff Beyonce makes an appearance for a second. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We said this before. It was really funny because Ryan did a temp score with all this aggro metal music. And I'm like, this would work if Hawk was scoring the movie. But Hawk is not scoring the movie. So we can kind of paint a bunch of, and we didn't really have a style. We're just like, was this funny? Does this work? It works great. And,
just to tack on to this music thing, right now is the long tagline sequence. And Ari probably worked maybe harder on any other scene. This was the hardest scene to score because we couldn't figure out what the hell to do. And then Ari came up with this idea that it was like a fairy tale gone wrong, from Rev's perspective, which because we were trying to do like Cobra and a bunch of 80s like cool synth stuff, and it just didn't work. And then again, he pulled one out of like this magical hat, and was like, what about this thing? It's like the Princess Bride gone wrong. And
80s, what are you gonna do? That's 80s, right? Yeah.
All right. So any
I was born in 2010.
Let's see, can we get from Shawn or anybody who happens to know a time check so we know where we are in the movie? So Kevin can fast forward.
I am right now at 32:45.
Yeah.
32:45.
I am unsure of where we are in the movie, but I mean, I know this thing like the back of my hand. I've seen this film probably 50 times. So if someone just gives me where we are, I will be like, oh yeah, duh. I know exactly where we are.
We're talking about werewolves versus vampires and all kinds of different mythological creatures.
Oh, right. Where Hawk's talking about all the different creatures.
Yeah. It just all leads to him talking about sex, basically.
Yeah, Hawk was really obsessed with sex.
Man. He's a sad, lonely man.
Yeah.
He was very, very sad and very lonely. Man, it was a gem to shoot both of these guys. They both just, Ari, but the whole cast for sure. But just the buddy cop kind of dynamic really shined. I felt like once we got in the middle of the movie where Hawk and Rev are teaming up to get the job done, and it was just so fun to shoot both of them because they just both could, I don't know, carry both characters very well. And I would just sit there like, do a little more.
Wait, who's playing the Gimp right here?
Good question.
That's me.
That's me. Question.
That's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my neck still hurts from David pulling on that freaking chain. You didn't hold back. David did not hold back pulling my chain, literally.
You encouraged him.
I did. I was like,
yeah.
So that's a cute little Easter egg thing there. Ari's the Gimp probably 95% of the time. I'm in it in a couple places. I'm not going to say where.
Oh, my mom said hi.
Yeah, Shawn's mom.
Woo! Yeah, what's up, Shawn's mom?
My mom says hi.
Hi, Shawn's mom. I'm so expecting somebody's parent to comment what they're having for dinner, forgetting that we're live, just saying, Shawn, make sure you do the laundry, or Shawn, we've got leftovers when you come over, or something like that. I will post that.
You know us too well, Lauren.
I will post that if an actual parent posts.
Please do. I love my mother. I love my parents. So please do. They would love it.
So funny.
Cheers, Mom.
So I have a question for Shawn. Is what were the practical lights you had on set, and then what kind of lighting kit did you have for this production?
Well, let's see. We had several LED panels that went from daylight to, I guess you would say, a 3600. I want to say color temperature. Yeah, tungsten. Yeah, and then we had a bunch of those. Not super crazy bright. And then we had some bell lights, which we had some photo flood, 500-watt bulbs, 250-watt bulbs, and we used those to kind of flood certain scenes. And then we used the LED lights to kind of, add a little extra kick. And then we had some small little battery-powered LEDs, about yay big, boop, 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 where the camera is. And we used those for highlights. And those worked great in the car shots we had. And that's pretty much it. Just making do with what you got. Using more practical lights. If a room had practical lights, why not use it? Because that's what the room is supposed to look like. That's where the lights are. So you start adding more lights into a room, you're just making it more complicated than it needs to be. So we did it very low budget light. And that's how
it was smart.
I've always shot anything. It's because of my man, Roger Deakins.
Roger Deakins, what's up? Natural light.
Huge inspiration to me as a cinematographer. And,
Shawn, you must really, really like him with those pictures.
I put that up for this. I put it up for this. I thought it'd be funny. I put both those up for this. I totally just printed both those out for this little thing. I thought it'd be pretty.
Well, I mean, Shawn and I have been geeking out about like camera tack and all this like weird indie stuff for years, literally years. So we've always been trying to find ways to kind of get this bigger look, but one that's authentic to what we were trying to do. So we weren't trying to replicate, 18Ks and HMIs. We were kind of trying to make our own cool look.
Yeah.
With what we had, and like leaning into that kind of really freed us up to shoot really fast too, honestly.
Yeah, it did. And, using smaller cameras and the Ronin and just using multiple cameras definitely helped. Having, the ability to shoot a scene multiple ways at the same, 1 angle, 2 angle, 3 angle at the same time. The coverage was great and the lighting was good. And we just were able to knock stuff out very quickly, I felt, with our smaller setup. And that's why I encourage most filmmakers, start small. Start small. Don't worry about getting those crazy RE 15K or those huge lights, shooting on an RE. Get your iPhone, and get a couple flashlights even, and use that. And
Roger Deakins would diffuse those flashlights,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's when you're working with bare bones stuff, or with what you have, the creativity comes out, and I'm sure Audrey and David can attest to this. When you're not working with a whole lot, you work with what you got, and then creativity comes from working with nothing.
Yeah.
And it definitely stems into the camera field, even though it's kind of a tech field. You just work with what you got, and you make those things work the best way for you that they possibly can.
Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention, as is laziness.
There you go. Yes.
Well,
very good. Yeah.
for Audrey and David, how did you balance your budget with time and resources?
What budget? We had a budget?
Quiet.
Ryan. No, it's one of the reasons. Yeah, I guess they basically called me MacGyver is because I pull the bunnies out of my ass. I really,
those didn't make the cut though.
No.
Unfortunately.
But it really is the mother of invention. I'm classically trained as an oil painter and sculptor. So I can build you a house from the ground up. I know electrical, plumbing, whatever. So basically, if we didn't have it, I made it, found it, borrowed it. Our buddy Kevin that keeps checking in, him and his beautiful wife, Carolyn, actually lent us some of the most amazing goth wardrobes. So I just pulled all my resources that I could, rummaged through my crazy garage, my parents' garage. I can't even tell you. I mean, it was really like, what do we have and what, and how?
Can we just say there was a leather kilt that they lent us, like a legit kilt that was made of leather and was goth.
Yes.
That's authentic, man. I don't know.
Which was worn by not Zagan, by
Bradley Marshall.
Yeah.
Bradley Marshall.
Andros.
Who played Andros, yes.
he
Powerhouse.
He froze his little tuchus off in that thing.
He did.
Yes, we totally raided your closet. Both of you. It was absolutely brilliant. You guys.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Kevin.
Woo! And Carolyn.
Yeah. And their jewelry.
I mean, so much amazing stuff.
Shout out to art department from Douglas Mueller.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Doug. He's been witness to me pulling some crazy crap out of my butt too for his.
Oh, and shout out to Doug for being the second camera.
Yeah.
On the film.
So I want to ask Casey. You come from San Antonio. So did you produce or make films in Texas? And if so, what was it like to Hollywood trying to make these kind of movies with friends and family and with no budgets?
So no, I went to school for a little while at Texas State University as a theater major, and then when I was 20, I moved to Los Angeles. So I grew up in San Antonio, acted pretty much throughout middle school and high school and a little bit of college. And so I didn't really have any professional experience until I moved to Los Angeles. So I actually started to start producing 4 years ago, and Audrey and David and Ari have helped me out with some of those projects as well, some short films that I did to get my feet wet. Yeah, I think working with people that you know and you love, I mean, this sounds like the cliche kind of thing, but when you get to work with your buddies, you're not working really, right? You're just showing up and having a blast. And so if we get to keep it like that, and maybe get it to like the Adam Sandler stage where you just get to use your buddies and make millions and millions of dollars, that would be the dream, right? So we're all trying to do that,
Netflix call us, please.
Side projects call us, please. But when we get to come back and together and make, see, there's another little pic of. Yeah, all
right, let me see if I can. Let me see. I'm trying to single Ari, but there's Richard. So we'll just have Richard.
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 Love you, Richard.
Ari, can you hold up that picture again?
Yeah, as you can see, I have a camel toe.
Moose knuckle.
Nobody wants to see that.
Well, you asked for it.
Please.
Okay, fair enough. I'll be over here.
Look, we got Richard to do an action shot drinking.
Richard hasn't said a word for the record, guys.
I've said a word.
All right, so I want to bring Richard back into the conversation. What were some of your favorite films to watch in the 80s? And have there been any projects like this? Have you done comedy and or horror before?
No, I'm not really an actor anymore. I was a long time ago, and I just moved on. I'm a visual artist now, and Ryan just kind of asked me to do something, and then asked me to do another thing, and asked me to do another thing, and the thing that I said yes to is because of all the wonderful people that he brings together, and they're just, it's like a big family, and I know you hear this all the time, but it truly is. We had a lot of fun. It was extremely difficult, especially outside when it was like 19 degrees or whatever it was, when water was freezing on, spilled water on a chair. And it was just, nobody got upset. It was just everyone working together and just having fun. And that was why I wanted to do it, because, these are wonderful people, and it was a pleasure to do it. And so that's how I got involved.
You were such a pleasure to watch, work with. I mean, what you put up with just getting those sclera lenses into your eyes. David had
that was brutal. Fantastic job as the vampire villain. I mean, you were terrifying. It was great.
Yeah, we were so cold one day. I brought these like hand warmers, and we put them all over our body. And I'll never forget that Richard put one on his chest, and he got like 3rd-degry burns from it. Yeah. Like he took it off, and there was all these blisters. But
I'm like, this is really hot. Is this supposed to be this hot? I know it's 19 degrees, but it's really hot.
So, side note, I missed my bachelor party because I got the flu from how cold it was from all that blood.
It was cold. You guys were troopers with that blood work, by the way, which I'm sure we haven't gotten to yet in the film, but there's probably already been enough blood. So,
but that's also what inspired us to actually invent a new blood that we could not find out there.
A new blood.
It is. We couldn't, and I guess maybe you'll get into this, Ryan, a little later, because you referenced it about the cleanup from the scene. But everybody was getting sick, like pneumonia level sick, because everybody was drenched.
In 25 degrees, and we're spraying fake blood on people, soaked in it for hours. And
there's not much going on underneath that ninja outfit.
No.
Yeah.
At least that first day there wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally was not cold, but that's because I'm a cave person, or I'm just crazy, and I was so hyped up and just excited to shoot gore. I was like, yeah, gore, So I don't know.
But it was a lot of fun, actually, being able to really put our thinking caps on and come up with that new type of blood that actually insulated you guys. It turned everything wet.
So we sprayed, 30 to 50 gallons of blood in one night, and got banned from this location. And because they claimed they had no idea we were going to do that, even though it's on the publicly available permit. And so in order to get back in there, Audrey and David made all of our wardrobe look like it was soaked in blood from the stills from that footage the night before. We took a couple days off, and then we actually had new wardrobe that looked like it was completely soaked, and it was dry, 100% dry. And then they just redid the makeup on our faces and all that, and there was no more blood on the ground. After that, all of it is CGI blood from that point on. Yeah. Which is just totally insane. And we had to do that. Now, we had already gone through one entire shoot and gotten shut down before we did our ending before. And then this was a whole other version of that. So it was insane. And I don't know how they did that. I remember calling them and texting them, and then Audrey's like, I've tried 38 things. There's still 4 more. I'm down to one last thing. It's working. It's working.
You should have tried that one first.
Yeah.
Ryan, did you want to talk about the second film? We got a question about it.
Yeah, I saw that. Lady Trotsky. Yes, there is a possibility of a second film. We're probably going to do some publicity around that next month, but yes, definitely. Hawk and Rev Werewolf Slayers is on deck. So there it is. I don't know. And I think it's going to be bigger, bloodier, dumber, funnier, more homages. Everybody's coming back. Plus
it's going to focus
Even
more
Richard.
on Rev, right? You said this one would focus more on Rev than Hawk. That's what you promised.
Yeah.
Part of the deal.
I
Is
may
that
have
still a
made
thing?
that promise as Hawk. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know.
I thought you said Arnold. You said Arnold was going to have something.
Yeah, Arnold's gonna come back. I'm gonna beg Terry to come back as a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Richard and Chana will all come back. I kind of want everybody to come back and then add more people because I don't know about everyone else out there, but one of my favorite horror comedies is Army of Darkness, and it's got a ton of
it's great.
You know, got a ton of characters, and they all come back, and that's one of my favorite things about the 80s movies, you know. And if you're going to do a sequel, what better way to do it rather than reinvent the wheel? Like, just bring more people.
Yeah.
You know, just bring more. And yes,
Kevin is down for that.
Yeah, we got to bring Carolyn and Kevin into this because they're ultimate goth. They'll lend a whole new.
Hell yeah.
Matt, I'm on board with Matt. I think Terry should have a whole spin-off. and then you should book Casey to do like 3 and 4 so he can add the Terry series.
And 5.
He won't be able to afford Casey. He just did a David O. Russell movie.
Yeah, Casey's being very bashful right now, but he's in a new David O. Russell movie that's just in post-production, and he's a pretty big part in it.
Are you allowed to talk about that at all?
I can, unfortunately, but I'd love to because I love talking about, you know, I this is all exciting stuff, but I can't.
Okay.
It's still untitled.
We can talk about it all we want.
We can talk about it. You just nod yes or no.
Yeah. Well, I may be in it.
Richard can talk about it.
Richard's good at nodding yes or no. Okay, got it. So Richard says no. Richard, if you don't mind being our magic 8-ball whenever we have yes or no questions.
It's great. Sure.
No. Yes. No.
So that's Ryan. That's awesome that you're working on these new ideas. Do you have treatments? Do you have a 1-page? Do you have a full-blown script for these?
It's getting close to a full-blown script for part 2, and it's werewolf. It's all werewolf all the time. So my goal is to have the longest, most excruciatingly funny werewolf or human to werewolf transformation scene that is a straight up homage to the last werewolf, and just literally everything. Silver Bullet, like all these great werewolf movies, like literally every single one of them, including Teen Wolf, has a transformation scene, and I think, I don't know, as long as it could possibly be, as long as maybe the 80s tagline scene where it just repeats and we cut to people who are looking around, and I don't know, it's just like literally, time is passing by, people are driving to work, getting home, and like
there's going to be an excessive sex scene that's just way over the top.
Yeah,
just way excessive.
We'll do, or Ryan and someone else will do.
Yeah. Just
it's got to one up Wolf Cop. I mean, the thing is Wolf Cop and Wolf Cop 2 basically blew up the werewolf genre.
Yeah.
Like, so So obviously, you know, we've got to compete with that, but I think we're going to go heartfelt. That's going to be the big deal, you know. So that's hell yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to.
Oh, nice.
Oh, if anyone can.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, Ryan, if you've gotten texts from any parents who are no longer watching and reevaluating their relationship with you after watching how much of the movie? Almost.
Oh, my mom disowned me. Yeah, they disowned me. So
I got a couple of emails that are like, "You are blocked." What are you gonna do? You know.
So. You know what? There's, you know, I think about Edgar Wright and his amazing take on the genre. I think about What We Do in the Shadows and that amazing take. How can there be so many movies on werewolves and vampires, yet we still can't seem to get enough?
I mean, when it comes, so you just mentioned two directors that actually direct comedy for real and actually push the camera and really have a voice. I mean, a lot of the other ones as of late are pretty milquetoast. I don't know, man. And I just think you can add supernatural stuff to basically any story and it makes it better. If it's more horrific and then you add some comedy in there, it's just better. I don't know. So, and werewolves are hilarious. It's literally a man turning into like this wolf beast hybrid. It's amazing. And vampires are the best thing you can do for indie movies because, you know, you can go pretty much human. And then you can really play with a ton of blood. You can add sex stuff. It's all just built into the genre.
And Audrey said she can do werewolf makeup. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I wasn't doing practical effects before this really so much. I mean, I looked at Ryan and he was like, "Hey, you got this." And I'm like, "Google, how do you rip a head off?"
Yeah.
How do you rip a head off?
Yeah.
For movie purposes.
For movie purposes.
Too late. You're on a list.
Wolf is bad 5 o'clock shadow. Exactly. Kevin.
He really is. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Any plans, Ryan, to bring a Baldwin brother into a project? There always seems to be one in.
Yeah. I mean, the last one I worked with was not cool with me by the end of our working relationship. That had nothing to do with me, Lauren. I was perfectly fine. That was all on him. So my fantasy is to run a massive Kickstarter and try to get Bruce Campbell in this thing and Robert Englund and a few like real serious horror icons that we all know and love. Because I mean, there are layers of jokes in Hawk and Rev that only horror fans will ever get. Yeah. And fans of the 80s and fans of the genre. And that's just an additional layer I'd like to add into the next one because it's just so fun, dude.
Well, I know Kelly Maroney, who was in Chopping Mall and Night of the Comet. and
I love Night of the Comet. It's one of my top 10.
One of my all-time favorites.
Yeah. So we can all agree that that's an amazing movie.
There was a Frog brother, I'm not going to say who became aware of this movie once it was in post-production, who kind of contacted me through some just some avenues and was like, you know, it'd be really cool to do some kind of crossover thing and maybe you could reshoot a scene with me in it and this kind of stuff. And then I recommunicated with them and they forgot any of that happened. So I was like, thank God I didn't go down that road, man.
Well, they went and got a prostitute, so we never heard from them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by that, he means a person of the night.
Just a lady of the dark.
I'm just saying.
You know, if Christopher makes a good point, you know, to have all of these horror mainstays in one movie,
Right.
of course, would be amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I'm not talking about having them through the whole movie. I mean, part of what I think people latch onto with Hawk and Rev is the fact that, you know, it feels handmade. There's an aspect to that, and I think they love that. So I think if we went like super big budget to get these people and then it looked that way, it'd be super weird. I would prefer them to come down to where we're at, because
Right.
I think that's so much funnier and better, dude.
Seriously.
There's that term called favored nations, where every actor gets the same rate for the same role. Would you expect some issues with Ari's agent over favored nation status on future projects?
I feel like Ari and Bruce Campbell would have quite some words over that.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have the same agent. I'll have to look that up. First class.
Man.
Yeah.
Cameos would be best.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
I got a cameo. I do not deserve it.
Yeah, original Night of Living Dead, exactly.
The credits, I would just like to say that Shawn Ayers makes a cameo in the credits. He wears a beret, and I went a little crazy with the beret puns. So there's
That is correct. That is
He
correct.
berated me with him.
I berated you.
Yeah.
All
I said
right,
it first.
Bad pun. I've got to take a drink.
Bad pun. Bad
This is
pun.
Gatorade.
I believe this may be blue beret flavored Gatorade.
Oh, come on.
Oh. And cut.
And all right, we're done.
We got to go to Richard. Richard the 8-Ball. What do you think? No. No.
Yeah.
No.
It looks like Super Sis 99 is asking if Ryan will give his wife a cameo.
Absolutely not.
Wait, what if she's talking about Victorian jewelry, though?
Oh, that is a good point. Solid. This scene that is playing right now, Bradley Marshall. All the best to you, man. This is so funny.
Yeah.
This is a totally improvised scene right here. We did an original version of the lines, and then I said to Brad, I said, please go crazy and talk about whatever you want. And he clearly does that. And Matt Latham, an editor, was like, hey, man, you should start this whole showdown scene with something completely unexpected, like that bit of improv that you're afraid to put in there. And thank you so much, dude.
Best man at my wedding. He and Casey had to fight for it.
Yeah.
But Brad won. So
FYI.
Oh, so hard to keep a straight face. Seriously.
I would rather have Brad done it because I didn't want to plan anything.
I was going to be loud.
See, Matt remembers that. Awesome. Yes. So, I mean, this should be said. There were multiple editors that worked on this film. Douglas Mueller.
Oh, really?
He was on there first as an editor. Then I did some cutting. Then Jeremy Wanick of Nocturnal Robot from Minneapolis, who did all the CGI, did some cutting. I did more cutting. And then Matt Latham came in and worked his magic. And, you know, he worked on the Victor Crowley film of the Hatchet franchise. So this is no slouch here. This is proper, legit horror, kind of iconic movie editing happening. Big ups, Matt. Big ups.
I thank you. I had to put Shawn in timeout because the DP's camera keeps falling over.
It's ironic, isn't it?
He's back.
My microphone cord is very short, so if I tilt my head the wrong way, it knocks my phone off. The little
That's why it took 4
nice
years
spot.
to film this thing.
Hey, we're here for a reason. It looks great because I. Oh!
Did you do that on purpose? Brilliant.
No, it's the tiniest cord. I'm using this nice headset, and it just doesn't. It's driving me nuts. I've been sitting here.
Richard,
it's been driving me nuts. I will let you guys. Yeah, I'll let you guys do it. I'm gonna mute my mic. I gotta go to the bathroom anyway. So
please don't.
Oh my god.
I apologize for the camera technical difficulties. But it's the shortest cord. It's
Hawk is crying right now. Hawk is actually crying
so
on
small.
camera.
If I move 2 inches of my head, it pulls the cord off. So
I've forgotten about the movie. We're just looking at Shawn's camera.
Is that Roger Deakins in the background there?
Yes.
Is your cord long enough to zoom in on Deakins?
Yes, it is.
Hell yeah. Saint Deakins.
There we go.
Saint Deakins. Hell yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Saint Deakins.
Right. I'm putting Shawn in the green room again. That's a little too creepy.
Oh man.
Oh,
that is
all right.
So
you saw too much. You saw too
remember,
much.
Kids, when you're working on a low budget movie, you need to work with very expensive equipment, or you need to know how to operate very inexpensive equipment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Lenses.
Lenses are overrated. I will say that everyone worries about lenses. Everyone worries about the camera. The main factor is worrying about the story and worrying about making the people involved in the project look the best they can. That is just you can get caught up over your lenses, over your bit rate, over your sensor size, over how much your camera's worth. It doesn't matter. What really matters is what you are filming. All of the technical stuff as a DP or camera operator, it's arbitrary. There are tools. You wouldn't use a hammer to nail in a screw. And that is exactly how camera works. You don't use a hammer to nail in a screw. And you can make a brilliant film with your iPhone or your Samsung. It doesn't need to have the Arri Alexa. It doesn't need to have the crazy prime lenses shot in 8K. You don't need to do that.
But you need lots of gore coming out of Terry's arm.
That's more important. That's more important. That's more important.
It is.
But it really is, though. I mean, with Hawk and Rev, the camera didn't matter. It was all about all of the actors doing a brilliant job being funny, and the effects and the costume design, all of it. All of that mattered way more than what lens I shot this on.
So much,
and that's
blood.
just
so much blood.
I mean, an amateur filmmaker would get a lot more out of learning of what Audrey and David did for the film in terms of their prop design and their attention to blood detail and all of that, or Ryan or Ari or any of the other actors.
That Dutch.
Yeah.
Like what stupid lens that I used for the film is not going to make or break your film. What made this film work was the people involved
right here. This thing right here, Kevin talking about taxes and ferrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
That's one of my favorite parts. That's one of my favorite parts. Don't. I guess my takeaway is just don't worry about your lens. Don't worry about your camera. Just focus on the people you have in front of the camera, the story you're portraying, and make that work. Then worry about the lens or the camera's sensor or whatever. Don't worry about that.
Listen, man, the guy who just won the best foreign film was one of the founders of the whole Dogma movement. And those guys were, you know, their whole point was to reduce filmmaking to its bare essential elements.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the big movement when I was first trying to make shorts and music videos and stuff. And that was all about using the very first absolute garbage, digital cameras and whatever natural light was there, whatever sound was available there. And I've always felt like if you can make something super entertaining and really, you know, heartfelt that touches people or scares them or makes them laugh, it doesn't matter what the heck it's on. And you know, name actors are not an issue either. I mean, I definitely not in the horror genre. If anything, it's a detriment, you know.
Yes,
sorry about that.
That's a question for Audrey and David.
We have two questions. One was, what was the fake blood budget? And this question, how do you figure out the best way to get the blood to spurt out of body parts?
Okay, well, as far as the blood budget goes, in order to spray that much on those people and not have it like sting their eyes and be able to get in their mouths and all of that, we actually had to make our own blood because the mouth blood, like a gallon of it was like $90 from this one store, and that was the only place that you could get like, you know, a large amount of something that could get into eyes and mouths and stuff. So we actually had to make our own
in our kitchen with crazy drills with like hangers to make huge beaters to I mean, and the recipe, it just was bananas
because we're covered in it. We're literally covered in it. It's like in our eyes, our noses, our mouths. Like
Ryan's poor mouth, when we tried to use one of the other less expensive regular bloods, his lips got all puffy and numb, and
if I had a nickel for every time we said Ryan's poor mouth. Am I right? Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers.
Yeah, a lot of like the cheap fake blood that you buy has detergents in it to make it easy to get out of clothes and everything. You can't use that and spray that in people's faces.
No, you can't.
So, and then the second question was about how do you rip what was it again?
How do you get the blood to spurt out of body parts?
Now that's an industry secret, but I guess no, it's not really. We basically, because we had never done practical effects, we went to YouTube and we started looking things up.
Got some ideas.
And we got some ideas, and we're not gonna, you know, we could say how we did it.
Well, let's just say it's an old school. Part of the pressure behind it was an old school.
Ryan's got videos of it
up
on YouTube already.
Oh yeah, you can look at that blood tests.
Yeah, he's got blood tests up on YouTube, and you can look that up. But essentially, what we did is water fire extinguisher that you can put whatever you want in it, and then pressurize it with, you know, an air pump. And then lots of tubing into a foam leg.
Yeah, I had to slice open all the body parts very cleanly, like dissect them, lay all of the tubing. We had to run some tubing down poor Aaron's outfit so that he could, when he catches.
Shout out to Dapper Cadaver.
Woo! Yeah.
Dapper Cadaver.
Yeah, Dapper Cadaver for some of those limbs. Yeah, that was helpful, and a lot of barge glue. But it was really just a hodgepodge of looking here and getting this idea there, and then my wackadoodle like engineering, and then a lot of experiments, a lot of bloody fun experiments.
Hell yeah, that was so fun. They brought a leg over with a tube, and they said, "All right, man, how are we going to test this?" And I was like, "I'll hold it." And they were like, "Just hold it." And I was like, "Well, I got to replicate him shooting himself in the face with it."
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta say, in this scene here, Ari looks like oh boy, why am I blanking on? Oh yeah.
Oh, Macho Man.
Yeah, Macho Man.
Yep, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Kind of goggles and
you got my motivation.
Yeah. Very good.
2, 3. That's what he used to say. Casey did a commercial with a wrestler. Casey.
Yeah.
Ric Flair, Nature Boy.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah. No.
Nice. I got to work with Roddy Piper on a film because he used to do a lot of these low budget projects for buddies.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
That's cool.
That was an honor.
That's awesome. He showed up at Second City a lot to do a lot of the improv shows that we did there.
Wow.
He was such a trooper. Yeah.
awesome.
He was in some serious 80s action cheese that just
Right?
dear to my heart. So good.
What's that line he has where he's like, I'm done. I'm chewing gum or something. What's the line? He's like, I'm all out of gum or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm here to
Yeah.
kick ass and chew bubble gum.
And I'm
But I'm
all
all
out
out
of
of
He was in
bubble
that
gum.
John Carpenter film,
Yeah.
They Live, I think it was. That
I was
John
born in
It's
1999,
Duke Nukem.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things about this scene was that we had literally just captured a vampire and then we just basically argue about things more. Oh, and so this is a lead into the next movie right here. This little bit with Rev having this discovery.
Right.
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be some supernatural stuff with the leads in part 2 for sure. No, I mean all that blood on the ground right there, that was CGI. That's crazy. Jeremy Winick, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that in the morning I saw Ryan's text saying, "Hey, could you come help me clean up all the blood that's here?" And I went to sleep. I didn't know this happened, but Ryan went back there for how long were you there for? How many hours cleaning up all that blood?
4 hours, probably 4.
And
middle of
bless
the night.
you for not calling our asses. Oh my god.
So I just happened to notice that Robbie Elfman is on. And so if Robbie wants to turn his camera on, there we go. Let's say hello.
Yeah.
Robbie, how are you?
Composer extraordinaire.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome.
So, Robbie, the question was asked earlier about all the amazing music in this project. So I'm wondering, what's your background? What's your favorite kind of music? What inspired you?
Oh man, well, everything from my namesake Danny Elfman, growing up with his stuff, to Igor Stravinsky, and just all the classical stuff, all the jazz from Miles Davis to Charles Mingus, and rock music from the Beatles to Sting to Radiohead, just everything and anything under the sun. I'm influenced by all of it, and so when I'm working on a film like this and the genre is 80s, I can just fall right into it. It's just another thing to play around in.
And play that sax.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So
I'm surprised we got as much work done as we did. We've known each other for so long, but this was a joy to score this thing. It was so much fun.
Honestly, yes. I've worked on a lot of projects. I've had the pleasure of working with Douglas Mueller on Repatriation, his feature film, and Elijah's Ashes before this one.
Yeah.
And shout out.
what's up, Doug?
The comic nature of Hawk and Rev and the fact that comedy and horror are intertwined. Comedy, we laugh at horrific things happening in horror. Yeah, this was also one of the most fun projects, and working with Ari on the music was a blast all the way through. It was easy and fun, and it came together like that.
Synchronicity, guys. Synchronicity. It was absolutely.
All right, I'm adding into that chat. I gotta do that. You gotta do that.
Well, Robbie, I gotta say, Robbie was great because there are points in the movie where I'm singing and I'm like, I shouldn't do this. He's like, no, you have a great voice. You should sing. And I'm like, okay. La, la, la. And,
it was true.
yeah.
And the voice and the whistle.
Robbie can play a million instruments, but he cannot whistle. And there's the one thing I can do that Robbie can't do.
That's
FYI,
hilarious.
he's a professional whistler.
Exactly.
Everything else, Robbie.
I often ask this of the composers that come on the show if there's plans to release it on marbled vinyl.
Ooh, I do love marbled vinyl. If we do release a vinyl, it will have to be marbled. Maybe red and white.
Yes, red.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Yeah.
and
guys. Yeah,
make it an European import, so it's a lot more expensive. Only available at a couple shops in Hollywood.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Hi.
Hey,
I know that kid. I know that kid right there.
This might be Ryan's daughter.
Yeah, that might be my youngest daughter, Sasha Barton-Grimley, talented bassist and actress. Yeah.
When is she gonna? When is Sasha gonna be in the movies?
She wants to be in the next one. Maybe she could play a mummy. I'm just saying. I mean,
For the record, they came to the door and said, "Mommy told us we have to make an appearance in front of the Zoom."
it's a family affair, guys.
They look terrified.
See, I really wanted them to go in there when it was Ghost Ari.
I gotta shout out to the guy who did all of these graphics. This is Jared Hageman of Chrome and Lighting. If you look him up, this is the guy who's brought back all of this 80s synthwave graphics. He did this for Kung Fury. He did this for everything that's basically famous that has it. And I don't know why on earth he agreed to work on this film, but he thought it was funny and silly, so he was down. But
I gotta say, and Ryan, I'm assuming you'd agree with me that the return of 80s synth and the looks and the graphics has got to be the most exciting thing.
Oh, dude, I love it so much. And the weird thing is it's like it's definitely revamped. Like it's got a whole new flavor, and I think that makes it better. I love it because it's my childhood. I moved here, in the mid 80s from Zimbabwe, so like that's when I came online in the United States, was right at the height of that. So yeah, it's near and dear to my heart.
Oh yeah.
I think in Spielberg. I don't know.
Robbie and I kept laughing doing the 80s themes because we just kept cracking it. Because I'm like, this sounds like Tango and Cash.
Right.
And it was like when it gets in that pocket, you're like, man, I could totally have heard this in an action 80s film. We kept laughing. So yeah. But
yeah, there's so many.
Robbie would reel us in. Yeah.
So this was our attempt at making because we were so low budget, we didn't have somebody to shoot behind the scenes footage. So we were like, we were shooting pickups for a new movie that's in post called Listen Carefully that we all worked on. And we had an extra day there out at this green screen. So we were like, what the hell? Let's totally make a fake outtake sequence and let's play with the whole concept of the GIMP and the vampire actually making the movie. Oh, that's a spoiler.
Well, in the next film, we're gonna have a behind the scenes where Rev plays Hawk and Hawk plays Rev. Because I really want to do that for this one. We didn't get to do it, so because the director said we couldn't do it. But
I love Kevin finally getting some screen time in the credits.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, we even got Shawn in there, Yeah.
Somehow I managed to weasel my way into the movie. So
shout out to Stella in New York. What's up? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's late back there. That's awesome. Aw, that was awesome.
And give Barbara a pet friend.
Yeah. So cute.
In Yiddish, in Jewish homes, it's like the whole ganze Mishpucha have gotten together on a Friday night.
It's a shtetl, man.
Just to gab and kibitz through a movie.
Yeah.
When we should really not be touching any technology from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown.
Well, we're the modern goblins.
Is that a thing?
It is a thing.
It's Shomer Shabbos.
I'm not very
bad Jew. Bad Jew. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
It's all right. Will we see Richard's character again? Will he come back to act?
If he agrees to do so.
It's all you, buddy. It's all you. Own it. Own it.
Awesome. This has been really fun to do this with you guys. This is really great.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's been such a joy. This has been great.
The blood
Big
was
time
less.
culture.
Yes.
Hawk will eat anything, but Rev is probably kosher.
Oh yeah. No GMOs for this guy.
Yeah.
No third tentacle coming out because we all have 2 tentacles, but not a third one.
Would your character be vegan, vegetarian, or keto?
I think vegan then, but right now I could go for keto. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I got a bit of a
Hawk
dad bod
only
going
eats
on.
trash.
So-
Hawk only eats trash. I'm just saying.
He's a
I have a
raccoon.
2-year-old.
So he's
So.
paleo.
He's paleo.
He's paleo.
He's not paleo.
Aw.
He's
So-
Cro-Magnon.
Wow.
Oh my
So-
God.
And I am most definitely a carnivore.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Oh man,
Wow.
he's paleo.
Thank you for bringing us all together. It's so
Oh,
good to see these beautiful faces again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got me.
So this is the part of the Passover Seder evening when nobody wants to go. You sit around drinking coffee so you can stay awake.
What says the wicked child?
So Ryan, you talked about you're working on some sequels. Any idea when we might get to see these sequels? When you might go into production on these?
I mean, in my greatest amazing post-COVID fantasy, it would be this fall or this spring. We would start getting into part 2, and there's a part 3 that's on the books, as well. One thing I want to do differently is involve a lot more people in the post-production process so that we can kind of edit while we're shooting, kind of a la Steven Soderbergh, and kind of speed up the process, because I feel like, I don't know, I mean, through social media, we've connected with over 1 million people just since, mid-March. So I feel like I want to, serve those folks what they actually want, which is a werewolf sequel and a demon ghost sequel, and just a buffet of 80s references and ridiculousness, Anyway.
Wonderful. Well, we have a lot of people here, so I do want to give a chance for everyone to kind of share what projects they have coming up. We'll start with Casey. I know you can't talk specifics, but what can you share about your upcoming projects?
Well, I'm going to shoot a Ronald Reagan biopic in Oklahoma next month. I play a guy that hires a young Ronald Reagan to his first radio gig in the 1920s. So that should be fun. Dennis Quaid is playing Ronald Reagan. And then I shot that David O. Russell movie back in January and February and March. And I wish I could tell you all about it, but you'll have to wait because it's I had to sign my life to secrecy.
It's a David O. Russell movie. It's going to be amazing. Come on.
It's gonna have
Oh wow,
people in it.
Casey, that sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks,
That
guys.
sounds like so cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know when it's coming out. I don't know what it's called. So it's untitled, but yeah, that's coming up, and then just hoping to book more work in this hopefully post-pandemic.
Baby Genius 5 and 6.
Well, funny that you say that. There was chatter about a television show for Baby Geniuses, and I heard about that the end of last year, back in December. So who knows? Again, post-COVID, if they can get everything up and running, that could be on Nickelodeon or Disney or one of those kid program stations. But fingers crossed.
Awesome.
I love babies and geniuses. I'm just saying.
Maybe brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, a little trivia. The second one was voted the worst movie of all time on IMDb.
But then Casey returned for the third one. It was rated the best movie of all time.
But I did the third, fourth, and fifth. So
wait, I mean, it
That's
scored
that pressure for sequels, right? That's that.
It's
Troll
man.
2 and Baby Geniuses
See,
2.
and that goes to show you, Hawk and Rev. There could be a million of these things. If Baby Geniuses was voted the worst movie of all time, they did 3, 4, and 5 after. They don't care.
What are you trying to say?
You go and make movies because you love to make movies.
yes, and Kevin makes a good point. Worse than Toxic Adventure.
No,
100%.
Worse than Fantastic Four. Worse than most of the Godzilla movies.
Hey, you shut your mouth right there with Godzilla movies. You shut your mouth right there.
On Godzilla.
I have a hard on for Godzilla, and I will back those movies up
We can see it.
to
John.
my death.
Robbie, what are you working on, buddy?
Oh man, soon I'm gonna have a collection of songs, an EP, and it should be called Plume, Plume, of original songs where I play guitar and keys and saxophone and sing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Oh man. So
Robbie's
that-
also working on this musical pitch that we're doing with Janice Savage.
yes.
We can't talk about it too much, but it's a fun thing and it deals with Greek mythology and it's really fun and I can't wait for people to see it or get it,
Yeah, Ari and I have been creative developing some stuff just in the sketch phase, but it's really exciting. And we've taken advantage of the lockdown time to really get creative and come up with a lot of cool material where if that happens, we're going to throw down.
Very
with
cool.
Janice Savage. Yeah.
I
Writer
also
extraordinaire.
have a band called Royal Jelly Jive, which is like Amy Winehouse and Tom Waits had a kid with Tribe Called Quest. We have a female lead singer with a Billie Holiday kind of voice. And I play saxophone and clarinet and flute in that band. Royal Jelly Jive. We're gonna come down to LA again. We're gonna be around.
They've
Very
opened
nice.
for the Roots.
Ari, what else? Ari, what else? Other projects you have coming up?
Well, I would love to get some of my own projects going. There's a comedy horror film called Retreat that I would really love to shoot. There's also a film called Garage. It's like Hot Tub Time Machine meets Primer. It's about a guy who lives in a garage and it keeps opening and it's different dimensions and he's like a slacker dude played by moi. So I would really like to get that off the ground. I had some fun TV stuff the year before COVID with Criminal Minds and SWAT, and that was fun just to kind of get in front to do that stuff again. And I'm looking forward to doing some improv again with my man Kevin Ocampo over there. We were at a kids show called Really Awesome Improv Show, so naturally I brought Kevin in to do a horror comedy. But I would love to get back on the stage with that man. He is super talented. He supports you and makes you look funny. So yeah.
Awesome. Kevin, what's
mentality?
Kevin, what can we see you in now and what could we see you in potentially in the future?
Well, right now I am in a commercial or two and
super funny
also,
commercial. Super funny.
Oh, yeah. And I'm also in another film that's up in CamFest right now called Lumpia with a Vengeance. It's a Filipino, also sort of a low budget film with Danny Trejo in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just trying to figure out the combination to my bomb shelter because I've been in here since last March, and I know the world's opening up again, but I can't remember what my code is. So if I sent that to anyone, just text me.
Awesome.
We'll
we
come
gotta
break
go,
you out, dude.
We got to go back to Richard to see how he's doing right now, and wow, that's.
Can I just say something? Richard is a super talented artist, and he does these drawings where he just does this with a pencil over and over again. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's brilliant, and he has shirts.
Stippling.
Take it away.
I don't make shirts anymore.
Yeah, Richard, do you have a website where we can see your artwork?
Richard Gayler with an EGAYLER.com.
Woo.
Awesome.
Yeah, Richard's been very humble. He does art shows all the time, huge ones, literally, with these giant pieces. It's kind of crazy.
I feel bad for Jim and Barbara that they maybe didn't fully know what they were expecting.
Okay, they're family.
Amazing. Oh,
They're stuck with us.
Oh, Jim and Barb's.
Jim, can I just say, Jim is a talented accordion player, and that's all I need to say.
And that is not an easy instrument either.
No.
Yeah.
Shawn has a film he wants to promote. Project he wants to promote.
I do want to get to Shawn because I do want to know what you've got coming up. But let's go to Audrey and David.
Oh, yes, of course.
Let's talk about what kind of are you going to market this blood? Are you going to do any cooking shows about how to make this new secret blood?
Actually, because of that, and because we couldn't find a couple of these different types of blood that we needed to make, we started Demented Kitty FX. So
that's
nice.
So we just got that set up, and actually, yeah, I mean, I've being that I've worked in color theory and so forth, I can work with the temperature of the film. I mean, it's custom blood. It's custom blood. So people are welcome to holler at me for whatever project. I'm always the type that both of us are always the type that we would just love to help anyone who's really just trying to sink their teeth into a project and get something going. And we understand working with a tight budget. We do. So, and so much amazing, brilliant stuff has come out of these crazy minds that are just trying to get the feet under them and get the story out and get this. So yeah, we're down. We're just always down to get in the mix and experiment. We're just mad scientists, really.
Very cool.
I vouch for that.
And for David, will Zagan and the Gimp, your goth industrial band, where are they going to be appearing?
I don't know. That's a good question. Ryan's put them in the sequel. I mean, if that's true, then I need to lose all this COVID weight that I've gained over the last year.
Big time, you do. Big time.
No way, buddy. It's like
no. You look like a stacked man.
I do not want to get myself into any mesh outfits with all of this that's going on.
You got like a.
I do.
I think it's funnier.
and all this hair that grew in the last year.
You got like a Joe Rogan look going on.
Ooh, too soon.
All right.
Did I miss something?
All right, Shawn. Where will you and your very short audio cord be appearing next?
Oh boy. I am working on a short film currently called 3 Pillars. It's a post-apocalyptic film featuring a man who befriends a friend, and it's going to be very gory and very bloody, and it features the Morro Bay area and the stacks. So 3 Pillars is awesome. Hopefully a little post-apocalyptic movie that I've been working on. I haven't written anything in a while, and it's been kind of my little labor project, my little COVID project, if you will. Much like everybody else has probably been doing with this weird isolation that we've been living in for who knows now. I just go by the check marks in the wall.
You're doing that too, man. You're doing that as well. I'm doing that.
Oh yeah, just the knife carvings in the wall, just like giant Bowie knife. Like it's been one day.
Doesn't it feel like the end of like a Night Terror movie, like where you've killed off all the vampires
do you want to hear
or
that?
the evils, and you're just coming outside and it's daybreak again?
Oh right. Yeah. There are no vampires in the one that I'm working on, but there are just a bunch of people that are going to be killed and with horrific deaths.
Wow.
It's kind of my horror. And Ryan taught me well about writing horror. So I'm trying to write and do justice to my mentor. And so hopefully that'll come out pretty decent. And speaking of blood, Audrey and David, I got to get you guys on the old ear about how to make some decent blood.
Maybe we'll share our recipe.
Wonderful.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks
so much for doing this.
You are so welcome. It was such a blast to hang out with you guys.
Oh, this was so fun. This was a very great experience.
Look forward to all your projects. Any last thoughts, Richard? Yes, no's, maybe.
A man of many wives.
I want to hire Richard just to come on and be my co-host.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Anytime.
Thanks for everyone who tuned in all over the world. South America, what's up?
Yes,
East Coast, New York.
Quick
Thank you
hello
guys.
from
Georgia.
Georgia.
What's up, Merle? Georgia. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for being fans of the movie.
Merle, and don't forget everybody out there that we're on Fridays at 5 o'clock Pacific time. What do we have coming up? We have we challenge you to our golden arm. We have Bastards Road. There's a Tarantino documentary coming up that I think Chris may be heading up, and we've got so many more projects. Take a look on filmthreat.com. Follow us on our Facebook page where we post events for the upcoming Film Threat watch parties. From everybody here all along in this Brady Bunch style look of if you want to look down and look left and right, you can say goodbye to the people in the boxes to the above and below.
Bye,
you
guys.
and to the side.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you,
Thank
Film
you,
Threat.
everybody.
Up.